Peace to all the saints. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to merge Gaius into this call shortly. I'm going to first go through these 12 rules for life that Jordan Peterson has. As many of you may know, he wrote a book essentially called 12 Rules for Life. And I'm going to go through the short version of what he has shared in his book and really highlight some of the most meaningful pieces of knowledge that he points out. So what I'm going to do for you is pull up an article, which was by The Guardian, and we're going to do a very quick run through of these items. And then if you'd like to call in to join the call and discuss some of the tenets that Jordan Peterson shares, be happy to talk through that or any Jordan Peterson story that you have. But we're going to go ahead and dig into the gentleman's perspective. So let me go ahead and share this article and we're going to talk through it real quick. So let's see. So what you see here are Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and the long title of the book is An Antidote to Chaos. I think that's a bit of an exaggerated title, but academics like to have some fun. The first rule he gives is stated as essentially stand up, keep your chin up. And this really is a commandment for men in particular. Right here, it reads, quote, order is masculine and chaos is feminine. Now, one thing we got to appreciate about Jordan Peterson is that he is not tiptoeing around the PC social justice warriors. He is saying what he means and often backing it by scientific evidence and very serious logic. So in this case, he says that order is masculine. Then he goes on to point out that suffering is a natural part of life, very much so a stoic perspective. And then he says, learn to suffer like a man, which is almost to say, hey, you know it's going to happen. You might as well embrace it. Something that I'm always emphasizing to you, which is the idea that you should suffer gladly. Put a smile on. If you know you got to go through it, why not smile and keep it player and look good while you do it? Then he finishes up and it reads, not everyone can be as rich and successful as me, but try to be less of a failure than you already are. That's just a little bit of humor from the author, but essentially saying that you have to deal with life's harsh realities. We all will not live at the top of the mountain, but wherever you do live, acknowledge that there is suffering in life for everyone, and you should find a way to be consistently happy. Because after all, life is not so bad in 2020. We're not dealing with the bubonic plague. Most of the diseases that have befallen mankind, we have cures or medicine for. Life is mostly good. That's what he's saying. Rule number one, keep your chin up, be a man, stop cowering, know that order is a masculine thing. You are here to establish that suffering is a part of life. Learn how to deal with it. Translation, stop being a bitch. That's your translation. Carrying on. Number two, Jordan Peterson's rules for life. He writes, treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. This one I really like because, as elaborated here, it points out that many people treat their pets better than they treat themselves. Self-love is a difficult thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Peterson would point out the Freudian idea of many people having a secret death wish, which is to say that at some level we want to self-harm. We don't love ourselves enough. And it manifests itself in your behaviors that show that you are not taking the best care of yourself. You're prioritizing others over yourself. That's why we have distilled our philosophy in the SAS into 3 sentences. Number 1, be yourself. Number 2, be good to yourself. Number 3, be good to good people. You ever found a time when you're being good to people who don't care about you, or you're being good to strangers when really you should be saving up that money to treat yourself? Treating your loved ones, but you forget to treat yourself. Rule number 3, befriend people who want the best for you. Wow. Doesn't that sound basic and elementary? Now, what this points out is that at some level, You might have to consider cutting a little bit of the fat off of the meat, that meat being your existing relationships. Do you have any friends that you grew up with and you're only friends because you've known them forever? And when you really think about it, if you met this same person at your current age, you wouldn't want to be friends with them. But you're like, hey, man, I knew this kid since I was in Pampers. I can't abandon him now. You don't need to abandon them. You just need to put them into one of three categories: no association, limited association, expanded association. And if it turns out they're a dirtbag, broke individual with no ambition, I recommend no association. Oh, well, I guess if you knew them forever, just put them in limited association, which means you're not investing a lot of time, emotion, and capital into this individual. You're just maintaining the relationship with politeness. That's a nice happy medium. Rule number 4, Jordan Peterson's rules for life. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not the useless person you are today. Now, this is a bit of comedy again, and as I've stated previously, and a lot of people had problems with this, the reality is that Jordan Peterson is not providing super novel ideas. If you are well-read, you'll know that this is actually Hindu proverb. Hindu proverb reads, true nobility is in being superior to one's previous self. Is that not what rule number 4 is saying to you? Don't compare yourself to the person you are today. Compare yourself to the person you were. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. That's exactly what this says. It is not an innovative or original thought, but it is a timeless truth. And that's probably why he has it as one of his rules for life. So it's a great point. Rule number 5, do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Well, that's an interesting one. Let's read the elaboration here. Quote, remember that children are born with original sin and have a huge capacity for evil. Oh, don't we all, right? They are not innocent beings. Tell me about it. I met some kids like that. They need discipline. True story. So do adults. If they are going to grow up and be even vaguely worthwhile human beings, and slap them if necessary. Don't listen to what the lefties say. You know, there is some wisdom here. Now, one, I don't recommend, thoughtless corporal punishment, which is to say that if you choose to engage in corporal punishment, it shouldn't be because you're an angry person. You're punishing or spanking your child because you're mad. It should be because you are spanking the child to condition or train them because they are too young to understand reason and logic. And in the absence of them being able to process the issue that you have or have the cognitive understanding of right and wrong, you provide the spank so that they know, this behavior leads to a bad outcome. So that does make sense when he says, don't let your children do things that make you dislike them. I think the more accurate language would be discipline your children so that they are growing into people you're going to be proud of. That's more so the affirmative language for that rule. And I think that's a great point. And not only will you be proud of them, they won't be a menace to society. He's helping out everyone. Rule number 6, set your house in order before set your house in order before you criticize the world. This is why we appreciate Dr. Peterson. We appreciate him for this singular message, which is set your house in order before you criticize the world. So many people, mostly leftists, they're in this great country called America, where you have unlimited opportunity. And they're still like, in Egypt, they're doing female genital mutilation. In Sudan, the babies are starving in Darfur. I want to feed the babies in Darfur. I send them some Nutri-Grain bars and Pop-Tarts. They need to make sure they're organic. They need to eat. They're worried about all these things way on the other side of the planet Earth, not realizing that in Skid Row in Los Angeles, there's tremendous levels of poverty, ill health, addiction, every variety of human tragedy you'd like to see is there on display. And if you go to Baltimore, Maryland, there are large swaths of the city that look like, third world post-war Iraqi settings where you have abandoned blocks, like crumbling city blocks. But yet they want to go all the way around the world to find some small village where the water is dirty so they can complain but not do anything. So as it goes, clean up your own goddamn house before you want to go around the world criticizing what they do and trying to clean up their stuff.